Will BPC-157 live up to its promise if it's taken orally? For several years, BPC-157 has been a primary topic of discussion in sports medicine and biohacking. It is frequently described as body protection compound capable of accelerating tissue repair. The widespread excitement surrounding BPC-157 stems from an extensive foundation of animal data. In mice, researchers have observed that BPC-157 accelerates the healing of tendons, ligaments, skeletal muscle, and bone. It is particularly effective at improving tissue integrity in poorly vascularized areas like tendons, which naturally have limited blood flow. It does this by promoting the growth of new blood vessels. It also stimulates the cells responsible for building collagen, which acts as the structural glue for our tissues. Beyond musculoskeletal repair, it was initially developed as an anti-ulcer agent to protect the gastrointestinal lining and has shown neuroprotective effects in animal models of brain and spinal cord injuries. Despite over 30 years of research, large-scale, randomized, placebo-controlled human evidence is sparse. Most existing human studies are small, retrospective, and lack the control groups necessary for definitive conclusions. Furthermore, a vast majority of the detailed preclinical research originates from a small number of research groups, primarily in Croatia. This concentration of data raises concerns regarding independent replication and publication bias. Meanwhile, its mainstream popularity has been heavily driven by prominent media figures who praise its ability to heal severe joint and shoulder injuries. The individuals achieving these dramatic musculoskeletal recoveries are almost exclusively utilizing subcutaneous injections. There are now some oral formulations of BPC-157. Will these work in the same way as the injectables? The retail difference has created two highly polarized camps of users. Consumers using oral BPC-157 for gastrointestinal issues like leaky gut or irritable bowel syndrome report high satisfaction and relief. Conversely, those using these same oral capsules expecting a joint healing effect report highly inconsistent or non-existent results. BPC-157 is a sequence of 15 amino acids naturally found in human gastric juice. Because of its origin, it is unusually stable in highly acidic environments of the stomach, which is a rare trait for peptide molecules. When taken orally, it acts directly on the gastrointestinal lining. This localized action makes oral administration an effective protocol for targeted gut healing, which aligns with the high satisfaction rates reported by gastrointestinal users. In fact, the most well-established human clinical data for BPC-157 is a phase 2 trial demonstrating its efficacy in treating mild to moderate ulcerative colitis. Oral and local administration methods are suited for these conditions because they apply the peptide directly to the damaged gut lining. However, delivering its effects to remote, poorly vascularized joint tissues throughout the body typically requires bypassing the gastrointestinal tract entirely. Subcutaneous or intramuscular injections allow the peptide to enter systemic circulation. There are a couple of forms of the peptide. One form is BPC-157 acetate, while the other is pentadecaarginate, which is a specifically formulated version bound to an arginate salt to enhance stability and solubility. However, there is no definitive data showing arginate absorbs into the human bloodstream better than BPC acetate. What the data does show is that arginate is more stable in the gut. While standard BPC-157 survives stomach acid perfectly fine, it can break down when it hits the enzymes in your intestines. The arginate salt acts like a shield, keeping the peptide intact longer in your digestive tract. In animal studies, oral BPC did heal distant tissues, but only at high doses that would be prohibitively expensive for humans. As promising as these tissue healing findings seem, we have to look closely at the safety profiles. If you look strictly at the published clinical and preclinical data, BPC 157 appears to be well tolerated. Extensive toxicology studies have concluded that it does not cause serious toxicity in animals. The limited human data available supports this safety profile. In the early phase 2 clinical trial of ulcerative colitis, the peptide was administered locally as a daily enema. The researchers reported that the compound demonstrated high efficacy and was completely free of adverse side effects or toxicity. A 2025 case report on administering intravenous infusions of up to 20 milligrams of BPC 157 in 2 healthy adults found the treatment was well tolerated, with no adverse events and no clinically meaningful changes in heart, liver, kidney, or thyroid markers. Similarly, a pilot study for bladder inflammation reported no side effects. In 2015, a phase 1 clinical trial was initiated with healthy volunteers to definitively assess the safety and pharmacokinetics of oral BPC 157. However, the researchers cancelled the submission of the results, which is somewhat concerning. Although anecdotal user reports are open to placebo effect, among other issues, I think it's worth looking into the user forums for people's experience. Here there is mention of a highly debated anecdotal risk of profound anhedonia, which is a complete inability to feel pleasure alongside extreme fatigue. While these symptoms are occasionally reported by users experimenting with high-dose or injectable formats, animal data actually demonstrates the reverse effect, showing that the compound counteracted anhedonia in rodent models. Looking at the current legal status, in late 2023, the FDA restricted BPC 157 by classifying it as a Category 2 substance, effectively halting legal compounding due to concerns over manufacturing purity, potential immune system reactions, and a lack of solid human data. The World Anti-Doping Agency similarly banned BPC 157 in 2022 under the unapproved substances category. However, effective April 2026, the FDA moved BPC 157 to Category 1, which represents bulk drug substances under active evaluation. This provides an interim enforcement discretion window, allowing compounding clinics to prepare to resume operations. The FDA's advisory committee is officially scheduled to meet in July 2026 to vote on BPC 157's permanent use by compounding pharmacies. This regulatory focus aligns with the biopharmaceutical data showing that BPC 157's most validated human clinical use is gastrointestinal. In summary, oral BPC 157 appears promising for gut health, but has very limited evidence for healing distant tissue like tendons and joints compared to injectable forms. I am curious to hear from you. Have any of you experimented with oral BPC 157 for either gut health or joint recovery? If so, which chemical form did you use, and did you notice an objective difference in your results? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you all well.